muted for the PSD account?
Just got a message there. Okay, how about now? Is it?
Hey there,
We
Anthony.
can hear you now.
Anthony, did you miss that whole last section?
I sure did.
Okay. I'll just quickly review that again. I was walking through the 5 criteria for the qualification domain, a strong communicator and relationship builder. The first models humility, empathy, integrity, and trustworthiness. Can be characterized as a servant leader, someone who works side by side as a partner with patrons, with employees, with the board in order to achieve a collective vision on behalf of children and families in this community. Second, clearly and transparently communicates the why to diverse stakeholders. Lots of energy around articulating rationale for decision-making when decisions are made and communicated. Critically important. And then, of course, connected to this is operating with a mindset around effective and open two-way communication. Districts are really good historically at pushing information out, but not so much, although it varies along a continuum, in ensuring that there is ongoing two-way engagement with stakeholders, patrons, and community representatives. Third, sees, values, and understands the work of each program, department, and school, and is visible, relatable, and approachable to staff and community members. Lots of interest in this notion of visibility and approachability by stakeholders. Fourth, builds and sustains effective and respectful labor management relations. Often, in some places, those relationships can be strained and tenuous, but there's a clear interest to forge a path that focuses on shared interest-based approaches to finding reasonable solutions that respond to the interest of labor and management and focuses on what's in the best interest of children and this community. And then finally is a champion for children, families, and community, someone who is a cheerleader, someone who is a face of the district. So those are the 5 criteria connected to that qualification domain. So are there questions? Anthony, do you have any questions about those criteria in that 3rd and final qualification domain?
I do not.
Okay, Jason, Elisa? No? So maybe we could go back to the 2 questions. Like the first question is there anything here that shouldn't be here? Like, is there something that we should not have? The other question, to just put it out there, is there anything missing as a criteria that couldn't necessarily be nested in one of these criteria that you believe ought to be included? Is critically important.
To be honest, I can't think of, anything to take out or add. I think it's a pretty good list as far as I'm concerned. And this was all developed based off the interviews and survey results, correct?
Everything can be traced back to the input from one-on-one interviews, from the focus group conversations, and from the community survey.
I agree, Jason. I think it's a fantastic profile.
Thank you. Anthony, did you have anything?
Nope, I'm in agreement.
We just love it when we crush it like this. I really do believe this captures the essence of what we heard. And when we deliver a document that captures the spirit of a community, a spirit of the place, and that resonates with the boards that we serve, it's a real source of pride. This is a labor of love. You don't know how many hours Hank and I have put into reviewing all of that information, refining this document. We work really hard to get it to one page. Very hard to get it to one page. It did not start at one page, okay? And the reason we work hard to get it to one page is because if it's too much, it doesn't provide the kind of specificity, the kind of prioritization relative to how we go out and actively recruit people who fit what this community needs. It becomes too much. It becomes a job description. It becomes a posting. So thank you for that. All right, so let me talk a little bit about next steps, and then I know we are going to recess to executive session here in just a moment. We will refresh this document. We'll take the draft off the footer. It'll have the final document with the date in which the board will consider this for public action. That action is scheduled for October 11th. So Dean, Selena, I'll make sure that you get that final document here. Likely tomorrow afternoon at some point. It'll depend on drive time and when I get home and what I face when I get home. Selena, you can anticipate I will have a draft superintendent search update number 3 to be released likely on Monday of next week. That will be to you, excuse me, not Monday. Let me back that up. I've got my dates wrong here. I'll have a superintendent search update to you, Selena, sometime early next week. It'll be released after the board acts on the ideal profile. So that'll be 10/12 or 10/13, possibly 10/16. We'll refine that, but there is a search update. I have the draft of that prepared, ready to go. And just as we've done before, Selena will have that posted to the banner. It'll be distributed to patrons, community members, parents and families, and employees. We are scheduled, Human Capital Enterprises is scheduled to release our e-blast to our 40,000 national subscribers on 10/15, advertising this vacancy. Typically, we also post to the Washington Association of School Administrators. There's no cost to that. I take care of that as a function of our relationship with WASA. The question I have for you is, does the board have any interest in any additional advertising? You know, we have our national listserv, so it's going to go out nationally to 40,000 folks. If you wanted to post that across the river to Oregon, there might be a slight nominal fee. I think it's about $500 or so to post to COSA's website. That's the Oregon School Board, Oregon School Administrators Association website. So if you have an interest, we can certainly do that too. I'll just need direction from you. The recruitment period is scheduled to begin October 15th through November 22nd. The application window will close on November 22nd. Preliminary interviews will be scheduled with Human Capital Enterprise Consultants on December 5th and 6th. And as promised, I will need to work with Selena once the newly elected Prosser School Board directors are seated either in November or December. I will need to schedule one-on-ones with them, and those are just one-on-one conversations, much like we had prior to finalizing this phase of the process. Questions about next steps? Moving along. Okay. Great. So I turn this back over to President.
Any other additional questions? Anthony?
No, should I call in to the closed session or should I just stay on?
We'll call in.
Yeah.
So we are going to recess this meeting and move into executive session RCW 40.30.110.1G with no action to follow. And it is to evaluate the qualifications of an applicant for public employment or to review the performance of a public employee, however, subject to RCW 423144, the discussion by a governing body of salaries, wages, or other conditions of employment to be generally applied within the agency shall occur in the meeting open to the public. And when a governing body elects to take final action, hiring, setting the salary of an individual employee or class of employees, or discharging or disciplining an employee, that action shall be taken in an open public meeting, and if the executive session will include the board and Steve Webb for a period of 1 hour.
7:20.
So that's right. So we will recess till 7:20. I like the 1 hour. It's way easier.
I
But
was,
know.
I was told, and so I'm trying to help you follow the rules.
I know, I hear you. Do you think we could take a 5-minute recess before we go into that? Like, hopefully everything can get kind of picked up, and then we'll come back at 6:25. Does that work? Is that enough time?
Thanks, Deanna.